Hello! In today's video, I am going to read Dolly, the story of Dolly Parton and her big dream. I will try to angle the pages so that the glare won't bother you. You've likely heard of the performer Dolly Parton, but do you know where this dazzling songwriter and musician draws her roots? As one of 12 children growing up in the rural Tennessee, Dolly was determined to be seen and heard. From her front porch to her church choir, every stage was an opportunity to perform and share her many talents. With balancing farm chores with schoolwork, Dolly never lost sight of her dreams, composing her first song at age 5 and performing at the Grand Ole Opry at age 13. With lilting language and vibrant artwork, this childhood story captures the unique gift of Dolly Parton, while also honoring the measures of her success, resilience, confidence, family, and kindness. Deep in the holler of the Great Smoky Mountains, Dolly stood on her front porch, ready to perform. She had a microphone for singing and a guitar for strumming. In her mind, she was all sparkles and rhinestones. As the fourth of 12 children, Dolly was determined to be seen and heard. She wrangled her siblings into being her audience, and when they wouldn't, the chickens, pigs, ducks would have to do. Excuse the chainsaw. From the get-go, Dolly linked up rhyming words and simple tunes to show her feelings. She tapped a rhythm when Mama snapped beans. She clapped a beat when the geese honked overhead, and when she was 5 years old, she composed her first song about her handmade corn cob doll, Tiny Tasseltop. That is so cute! Dolly sang at home in church. Dolly sang at home and in church with her grandpa as the local preacher. She belted out songs of praise and faith for congregation. Yeah. Words flowed from Dolly's heart, loud and strong. Each Saturday, Dolly's family crowded around their battery-operated radio as Dolly listened to the Grand Ole Opry. Her heartbeat quickened as she held her breath on each note, and she felt the lyrics of joy and pain. Dolly began to imitate the country greats whose voices crooned into her living room. Kitty Wells, Patsy Cline, and Johnny Cash. She dreamt of herself on stage at the Opry, toe-tapping, knee-slapping, belting out country tunes, but people said, "You're just a kid, and you're too young for the Opry." Dolly stood tall, and she believed she had something to say. Living on a farm meant work for young Dolly. She hoed corn and planted pumpkins and beans and turnips with her family, but Dolly preferred to be back home, writing songs, singing songs, and most importantly, dreaming. When the Parton family had time to sit a spell, they played some Appalachian porch-pickin' music. Guitars, banjos, and fiddles filled the holler with twang of love, loss, and longing. Dolly would pick a little and play a lot. She slapped the tambourine, plucked the banjo, and pounded the piano, watching and learning from each family member. It was Uncle Bill on her mama's side who began to take notice of Dolly's musical talent. When Dolly received her first guitar, she learned some chords, and everyone saw how quick she made a lick of it. Her music had cadence, harmony, and tempo, and that voice, sweet, soulful, and something fierce. school, some kids picked on Dolly for being poor. They laughed and mocked at the clothes her mama had sewn from scraps, but Dolly wiped away those tears. They couldn't stop her from dreaming. She turned her hurt feelings into lyrics and found a melody to match. On winter nights, huddled by the warmth of the fire, Mama sang songs and told stories of the world far away. Each note carried Dolly from her mountain home to Nashville, each note adding kindling to her own growing flame. Kindling, not kindling. Uncle Bill helped Dolly approach local millionaire Cass Walker, who broadcasts a weekly variety show. Her confidence and wide smile earned Dolly a radio and television gig. With butterflies in her belly, she took the stage. Hesitant at first, she sang higher and higher with pure joy and fell in love with the live audience. Soon after, Dolly and her uncle started making trips to Nashville, determined to get her a guest spot at the Opry. They knocked on doors, sent out records to record companies, and approached people who had musical connections. But time and time again she was told, "You're just a kid, and you're too young for the Opry." But Dolly wouldn't take no for an answer. She and her uncle spent countless nights sleeping in the car with little gas money to make a long trip back home. Dolly would pluck a tune on her guitar or strum a rhythm on the dashboard. Stories and verse flowed from her lips, songs of home, family, love, and dreams. Finally, Dolly's persistence paid it off. One night, another singer agreed to let Dolly go on stage in his place at the Grand Ole Opry. Dolly's dreams had led her here, to this moment, to this stage, and she was just a kid. When it was time, Johnny Cash introduced Dolly. "We've got a little girl here from East Tennessee. Her daddy listening to her on the radio at home, and she's gonna be in real trouble if she doesn't sing tonight, so bring her out here." Dolly walked out to the mic in a daze. She lifted her head to the lights, smiled bright, and let her rip. Thank you, everybody. It's Johnny Cash. She sang for everyone who had believed in her, and Dolly's deep feeling sparked a connection. The audience felt her energy, her emotion, and there were 3 encores that night. 3! Everyone wanted to hear more of Dolly. Dolly stoked the fire, put pen to paper, and continued to write her stories into song. The day after high school graduation, Dolly headed straight to Nashville. She struggled to get a job, pay rent, and to even eat sometimes, but Dolly continued to write and sing and write and sing. Then Dolly earned a coveted spot on the Porter Wagoner Show, a popular television show program. She wowed fans with her humor and vocals, and her songs flew to the top of the charts. Dolly lifted people up with her voice, transporting them to the Great Smoky Mountains, to her roots and to her family. With nails, hair, heels, sparkles, and that voice, always that voice, she no longer had to wrangle an audience. Dolly, finally seen and heard as the artist she was, had a real microphone for singing, and a plethora of instruments for playing, and no shortage of rhinestones. And above all else, Dolly remained true to herself, her dreams, and her songs that guide us home. Ooh, I have chills. And that is the story of good old Dolly Parton. A reminder to you guys that if you have any dreams, go chase them. Go chase them and dream big. This is a really inspirational book, and I hope you liked this video today. Make sure to thumbs it up, subscribe, spread nothing but peace, love, and positivity. I will see you in my next video.